Hello, Mr. Schwannekamp. Second video here. The good news is it is very similar to what we just did. All right, so if we did the adding correctly, subtracting shouldn't be too much harder. One little baby step that you got to make sure you understand. If you understand it, then it's easy. Just a matter of getting that locked up and making sure you don't make silly mistakes. So without further ado, let's do it. There's probably a lot of things that if you watch these videos, I say a lot, I catch myself, I feel silly about it. I apologize for it now. You can make fun of me. It's fine. Here we go. Subtract the rational expressions by distributing the negative sign. That is the number one key. So as we look at this first problem, we've got 12x minus 12x. So we've got common denominators. And so I'm going to keep a common denominator. The only issue here is this is 3x minus 6. I am minusing this fraction. And when you minus more than one thing in math class, you need to make sure you distribute this negative sign. All right, both of those things are negative. So it's going to become a negative 4x and a negative 3. I'm going to put a plus sign there because I already distributed the negative. But just be careful. It's 3x minus 4x. So 3x minus 4x would be negative x. And negative 6 minus 3. Negative 6 minus 3. Or negative 6 plus a negative 3. That gets me negative 9. And then I'm done. I cannot simplify this because I can't divide everything in this problem by the same thing. I'm good. And so the only difference between this video and the last video is make sure you're distributing that negative. You're subtracting the 4x and you're subtracting the 3, however you want to do that. All right, so looking at the next one, x squared minus 25. So I'm going to go ahead and factor that, x minus 5x plus 5. This one only has an x minus 5, and so what does it need? It also needs an x plus 5. So I'm going to have to multiply this by x plus 5, but if I multiply the bottom, I got to multiply the top as well. And in the end, my answer is going to be, I got to erase this. I wrote too big. All right, let's try again. Is going to be equal to x minus 5 and x plus 5 on top. All right, so the 4x plus 3, boom, easy. What I worry about is this part. And so again, you can do this either way, negative 5x, and then I'm going to have 5 times 5. So it's going to be a positive 25, but I'm minusing that. Okay, and so the thing I would do is change the signs and make sure we distribute that negative throughout. So instead of 5x, it's negative 5x because I'm subtracting it. Instead of 25, it's negative 25 because I'm subtracting it. Now we can combine 4x plus negative 5x is negative x, and 3 plus negative 25 is negative 22. I cannot reduce anything by the same value, so I'm good. Look at number 3. This thing, what does this denominator have that this one needs? Well, this one's got an x, so I definitely need to multiply the top and bottom by x. So that denominator is now 42x. So what do I need to multiply this thing by to get me 42x? I need to multiply by 7 on top and bottom. All right, so my denominator is going to be 42x minus 42x is equal to 42x. On top, I've got x times x, so that's going to be x squared. 1 times 7, that's going to be 7. Not really any distributing here. It's just x squared minus 7. Since I can't do anything with that, my answer is just x squared minus 7. I can't factor. I can't divide anything by x, everything by x, everything by 42. Boom, I'm done. Keep working. Number 4, let's factor this thing. So x plus 2 and x minus 2. This thing's already got an x plus 2, but it needs an x minus 2 on top and bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply in that x minus 2 on top and bottom to get me that denominator. And it's all going to be equal to x plus 2, x minus 2. All right, we're rewriting the top. So on top, I got 2x plus 1. That's not changing. Here, I've got a 5x minus 10. Sorry, I got to distribute that. It's minus that, though, so I'm going to distribute this minus. I'm going to change the signs. I'm going to go ahead and distribute that minus through so I don't make a mistake. 2x minus 5x is negative 3x, and 1 plus 10 is 11. I can't divide everything by the same value. There's nothing that can cancel. Boom, there is my answer. And we've done basically everything that could make these problems hard at this point. Just a matter of practice. So the backside, if I were in class, this would just be practice reps I'm giving my students. I'm just going to do them here with you. already have common denominators, so the common denominator is going to stay. I'm going to distribute this negative sign, so I'm going to change the signs. I'm going to stay 6x, so x plus negative 3x would get me negative 2x. And 2 plus negative 7 is going to get me negative 5. There's nothing I can factor out. There's nothing that's the same on top and bottom. I'm done. Keep rolling. Number 6. First thing we're always going to do is factor. So on bottom, I can factor that. So this is x minus 7 already. Minus this denominator is x plus 7 and x minus 7. So this one's got plus and minus 7. This one's just got minus. So I know what I got to do. Multiply the top and bottom by x plus 7 over here. And my answer is going to be x plus 7, x minus 7. A lot of just writing, but I feel like writing that out every time, just make sure you don't screw something up. Oh no, on top here, I've got two binomials being multiplied, so I need to FOIL. Just do it. X times 3x is 3x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. 7 times 3x is 21x. And 7 times negative 4 is negative 28. Sorry, my handwriting's kind of rough there. Can I move that? Yeah, I can. All right, there you go. A little better. That one's just minus 2, so nothing to do there. We're going to combine like terms. So 3x squared, no other x squared, so 3x squared on top. Negative 4x and 21x, that's going to get me 17x. And then negative 28 minus 2. Negative 28 minus 2 is going to get me negative 30. Boom. There is my answer. Box it up. That's what I was trying to get. Keep rolling. Number 7. Already have the same denominators. Easy. So then all I got to do is change my signs. Distribute that negative. 5x minus 5x is 0x. And negative 2 and negative 4 is going to get me negative 6. Uh-oh. I can reduce because everything in this problem is divisible by 2. So if I divided the top by 2, I get negative 3. The bottom by 2 gets me 5x. That is my answer, negative 3 over 5x. Last one. X squared minus 9. So factor that boy into x plus 3 and x minus 3. This one's got x plus 3 and x minus 3. This one's only got x plus 3. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply top and bottom by x minus 3. So that way this denominator is going to be x plus 3, x minus 3. So guess what? My answer is going to have an x plus 3 and an x minus 3. Now we're ready. This denominator didn't change, so it's going to stay x plus 2 on top. This one did change, so I got to distribute that 6. So 6x minus 18. I'm minusing 2 parts here, so I'm going to go ahead and distribute that negative, change the signs. Now I can combine x and negative 6x is negative 5x. And 2 plus 18 is 20. I'm going to be careful here because I can factor out on top. On top, I could divide out a negative 5. If I did that, I'd be left with x minus 4. But again, there's nothing on bottom to cancel that with, so I didn't have any issues there. I'm just stuck with the numerator. That is it. If you were good at yesterday's lesson, you should continue to be good at today's lesson. Just a matter of throwing a minus sign. Make sure you distribute that negative sign. The absolute only mistake or not the only mistake, the biggest mistake that my students make. So be careful with that and hope it helps.